Without you, there'll be no one to call my neighbor. Without you, there'll be no me. Eh, I don't want you to look at me as a stranger. I'm not a stranger. I don't wanna come across to you like just another stranger. Hey, I know you cannot trust nobody, but you have to trust someone. Yeah, that's why I want you to see me as your sister. Your guy, it's your girl Erin TL, and I've told you I'm ready to tell you various stories about our African neighborhoods, African homes, and all. So today, let's talk about African neighborhood. So, most cases, African neighborhoods, you'll find a village. Your immediate neighbor is probably your relative, your auntie, or because there are those old people who used to have big chunks of land and so they would separate. You find that the other one next to you is your grandparent, or the other one is your auntie, or something like that. So, in cases now in the a little modernized areas, you'll find that, yeah, it's probably family friends because you have stayed together for quite some time. They are your parents' friends and all that, things like that, if they are not your relatives. So, still, they are not just neighbors. African neighbors are not just neighbors, they are your parents too. You respect them, as in their kids, they are like your siblings too. You treat them like your siblings. What you wouldn't do to your own sibling, you don't do to your neighbor's kid. You give them the same respect you give to your parents. And these people, they are not just parents, they are like spies. Hey, should they find you doing anything wrong, because they are parents and also spies, they will punish you and also report you to your parents. Like, that's why I tell you, an African kid is a responsibility of a community. A responsibility of a community. And you guys, I've been talking to some of you, my friends in the US, in Europe, and you tell me, I take months without seeing my neighbor. Someone told me, I do not know what my neighbor looks like I've never seen them. Like, how? How do you be there and you do not talk to your neighbor? You do not know how they look like. You've taken days without seeing them and you've not bothered to go and check on them. In Africa. How? You guys there in Europe and US, you say, hey, inconveniencing, privacy. What is that? I don't get it. What if your neighbor is sick inside that house? Like, how can you be there and you're not in good times with your neighbor? Neighbor not being in good times, you do not know your neighbor. You are not a responsible citizen. How? First, what happens in Africa? If someone, actually, if a day passes without you people meeting each other, maybe on the way or saying hello, they will send a kid, you go and check in so and so's home and see if they are fine. You go and greet them, how are you? Hey, mommy had come, told me to come and check on you people. Are you fine? There, we are fine. Because they have kept at home the whole day. Or their kids have not crossed to your home, or you've not crossed to their home. It will take a responsible parent to come and say, is there anything wrong? Why have the kids not come? Okay? So for us, neighbors are relatives. Like, how do you guys be there and how do you be there alone? Like, how? The relatives are not the ones you have by blood. Sometimes these people, the neighbors you're ignoring, I don't want to call it ignoring because it's your culture. The neighbors you're not getting connection with, they could be of help. For us, you're sent home from school, maybe for school fees, because most cases you don't pay school fees on time in a typical African home. So you're sent back home for school fees, and your parents, maybe they're not there. You will go to your neighbor's house, tell them, or they send you for a parent, your parent is not there. You go to your neighbor's house, tell them they have sent me for a parent. And if you have a responsible neighbor, they'll come with you to school and talk to the school. That is what neighborhoods are here in Africa. In this part of Africa where I hail from Uganda. So, neighbors are relatives. But still, there are those bad neighbors. Now I'm talking about a good neighborhood, a good and healthy neighborhood. That's why me, wherever I go, even here in Kampala, all my neighbors, I do not want grudges with my neighbors. Why? These are the people before my mom is not there. When you are sick, they are the very first people to attend to you. For example, you are in an apartment and you don't know who stays in the next door. How? That is not healthy. Yes, some people will be like, hey, my neighbor has kajanja. You go keep greeting them every day. Get to know how they are doing. What if some people are loners? Okay, they are lonely in the house. What if someday they fall sick, they can't call, they can't do anything? You are the immediate help there. That is how I've grown up. So if you are my neighbor, be ready for me to poke my nose in your issues. I can't just see strangers around anyhow. I have to know. If you get visitors in an African home, by the way, you get after those visitors have settled for a day. If your neighbors get to hear that you got visitors, they will come and greet your visitors. That is networking. Or if they have not yet come, they're quite a distance away from you. Maybe they didn't see the neighbor come, but if they saw them come, say, "Hey, we saw neighbors come here, we have come to greet them." That is who we are. So if they are quite a distance away and they didn't know that you really got a visitor, you'll carry that visitor, not carrying like physically, you will walk that visitor to your neighbors. Your visitor has to know people who keep you in their absentia. If your visitor is a relative, a friend, or what, your neighbors should know who your friends are. Your friends could be your neighbors' friends. That's why you guys are keep telling, you tell your friends to tell their friends to be my friends. It is how we've grown up. You can't get visitors and you don't go to call mama so and so to come and see your mother's sister. Why? Your mother will tell you, hey, Arina, go and call mama so and so to come and see my sister. That is if they're in a hurry and they are going back. Okay? So that is true neighborhood. You know me, I know you. Of course, you don't go deep into their privacy. Most cases, they open up to each other. They are just like family. We are family. If you're my neighbors, we are family. Even right now in Kampala, if you're my neighbor, we are family by force. If you want or not, me, I'm your family and you are my family. Period. This thing of being in neighborhood, you don't talk, you don't what. Of course, I know some neighborhoods are bad. Of course, and what spoils neighborhoods very much is rumors. You go talking about someone, whatever you see in someone's home, you want to judge everyone. You're not a good neighbor if you're that kind of a person. A true African neighbor you hold secrets. You don't talk about your neighbor anyhow. Whether they are rich or poor or they are going through tough times, you help them. If you can't help them, you help them find someone who can help them. That is who we are as neighbors. Neighbors, I don't mean the neighbor of the Bible. I mean the neighborhood, true neighborhood, someone next to your home, someone next to your apartment. And if your neighbor gets sick and you don't go to visit them in an African home, you have literally sent a signal that I wish you dead. That is what it means. Otherwise, why wouldn't you go to see your sick neighbor and pray for them to get well and wish them quick recovery? Why wouldn't you go if you're not wishing them bad? That is who we are. So even in Kampala, yeah, I have that culture. I have come with that culture. Like if I get to know my neighbors are sick, I will reach out a hand. And if your neighbors are going through tough times, you stand with them. If they're celebrating, you celebrate with them. You guys, in African setting, if a neighbor's daughter is getting married, or a neighbor's son is getting married, and you're the neighbor, you don't need an invitation. Like these things of invitations, who brought them? By the mere fact that we are neighbors, like no invitation. We are neighbors, as in we are neighbors. What is invitation? But these days, I don't know who brought these things over. So and so is invited. In an African home, for as long as you know who is marrying and who is being married, or you know their parents, just that you are invited. That's why in most cases African weddings are big. But in town, where these things of invitation cards have taken a lead, you don't go when you're not invited. But for us in the village, by the mere fact that you are our neighbor, actually, we take the same honor and respect that you're having on that function. your child is our child because we have raised the kids literally together, like literally together. Why is it that when we are celebrating something big, maybe they are marrying, they're getting married, they babies and what, why are we not together? So that is who we are. Even in bad times, should you lose, God forbid, you lose, it is a funeral, they always work together. African neighborhoods, they are there, they stand with you all through tough times, bad times, good times, and ugly times. They are there. Not these people who are there with you when it is good, when all is merry. No, African neighborhoods, that is who they are. So I've basically been talking about good neighborhoods. I've told you. Bad neighborhoods, I didn't have a lot of them. Maybe a few in Kampala here and there, whereby someone is picky, they pick on everything and want to quarrel, want to fight, want, like in my head, I'd be like, where did you come from? Where did you grow up from? This is not neighborhood. You just want us to be enemies. Like, how would you create an enemy in the neighborhood? Why? Who will help you when you need help? Some of you pretend like you will never need help when you're big, good, but you never know where this world goes. At some point, you'll need someone's help. So wherever you go, make sure you are at peace with your neighbors, physical neighbors. That apartment where you stay, those mezigos where you go, Mexico Express, oh yeah. So check on them and always wish them well. Pray for them to prosper. When your neighbor prospers, you're prospering. If you need help, they'll give you help. Naye mubeera omusiranya baneiba bamwe buli kaseera. Wuunoonywawo amazzi. Who will help you? I hope you got me. That is me describing to you. I want you to have a glimpse, like I want you to have a glimpse in where we have grown up from. So you see me welcoming everyone and open-heartedly. But most of you, what I've noticed, these people who have grown up in Europe, USA, like you're very open with them, you show them hospitality, and they're always like, what is Erina up to? A few of my friends have asked me that, and I was shocked. I'm like, this is how others should be treated. This is how you should be treated by mere fact you are my neighbor. This is how neighborhood should be. And then someone wants to pay you. Like, there's some things that are not payable. You can't pay. That is who we are. Accept. So most of you, if you're my neighbor and you've been complaining about how I treat you, I'm always checking on you and I'm always be so kind to you, and you think I want something from you. No, I don't want something from you. That is what true neighborhood should be. I see your child doing something wrong, I'll tell them what you're doing is wrong. I'll not report to you. Before I even report to you, I tell your kids what you're doing is wrong. That is true neighborhood. Just I didn't tell you. There is a time one my sister, my little sister, abused. We used not to abuse, but this time I think she had mingled with other kids, and then she got this abusing thing, and one of our neighbors heard, and she called her here, come here, and she will cane you thoroughly, like your mother. And you can't report to your mother. You go report to your mother, they add you, my dear. Like, you are disciplined by the entire village. All your neighbors can discipline you. And when you come back in holidays, you take your report to the entire neighborhood because they are literally the ones taking care of you. But if you have a bad neighborhood, don't bother taking a report there. If you have a bad neighborhood and they do not fall in any of these qualities I've been talking about, keep your things to yourself for your protection, privacy, and all that. Yeah, but why would you have a bad neighborhood? Always reach out a hand, preach to them so that they get to know that true neighborhood is when we work together, we reason together, and we support each other. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this. Remember to reach out a hand to someone who needs help, and see you right in the next video.